Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at the boiler CTF. I kind of started it like a little bit, messed around with it like a little bit, just kind of found my way around, didn't answer any questions or anything like that yet. Just kind of try to find my way around, try to get into it, try to see what's going on with it, stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and copy that to the clipboard. I'm going to delete everything I already did for it. So we can start it together. Alright, and this one's called boiler, right? Yep. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and make a directory first. We'll make that boiler directory, right? And let's go ahead and cd into that. Alright, first thing I want to do is always start up an nmap scan. And we'll go ahead and start that. So we got port 80, port 21 it looks like so far. Go ahead and zoom in on that for you guys. And port 21 we'll obviously do a, see if we got anonymous login, see if that's enabled and stuff like that. So let's do an nmap. Alright, port 80, let's go ahead and do an nmap scan on that also. See what we're working with here. Port 80, and we can also start up a NICTO on there too, just see, if we're working with anything crazy. Alright, looks like anonymous login is allowed, so let's go ahead and we'll do that. So FTP in there. Now remember, wherever you FTP into it at, whenever you get that information, it drops back down to there. So if you're FTPing from like the root folder or something like that. Right now I'm FTPing from boiler, as you can see over here. But if I were to FTP from the root folder, it will drop back in the root folder, which then, you're just going to be putting more and more stuff in your root folder. You don't want to do that. This VS FTPD version, that's secure, so I don't know of any exploits that go along with that one. So I'm not really too worried about looking into that too much. Let's go ahead and look in here. Okay, we do see something. Let's go ahead and cd into .info. Or actually that's a get.info.text. Alright. As you can see, that file's also hidden, so if we were just doing ls, we wouldn't be able to see it. ls-la shows hidden files and also the owners are, things like that, and then we can see it. Somewhere in there. Okay, we grabbed that, so let's go ahead and cat that .info. And when I very first saw this, I threw it into CyberChef, and I was like, no, this looks like one of those Visioneer ciphers. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and go into a Visioneer. Yeah, I spelled it like that. I spelled it totally wrong, but whatever. And then there we go. So there's a good one down here, one that we have used before for different tools. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to crack it also without a key. And you're just looking for something that, makes up mostly English. So just want to see if you find it. LOL, remember enumeration is the key. Alright, cool. So nothing in there. Alright, we know that port 80, it does look like there is a robots.txt. Let's go ahead and start Python 3 dir search on that guy. And just not to bore you guys to death, I'm going to do a dir-b common.txt. Alright, I know that usually I do like big.txt, things like that. But just not to bore you guys to death, we're going to go ahead and do that one. That's not my IP address. That's going to be hard to figure out that one. Alright, and we'll go ahead and start looking at this guy, see if we see anything. Let's go into that robots.txt. Okay, and I don't know if I did actually go into port 80 yet. It's just a regular Apache default page. Port 80 here. Nothing really in it. We do have robots, okay, and we see temp SSH yellow, not a rabbit hole, or is it? Okay, so and then we have this ASCII 2 down here, which you could try to also crack that too, because that is something else. So I have not tried to crack that. Once I started working down here, I got to not, and I just kind of stopped. So if I go /temp, yep, not found. There's a lot of rabbit holes in this thing, a lot of things I want you to work on trying to get, and just wasting your time, things like that, which is good, makes you keep looking back at other stuff. Yellow. Nope, that's not how I spell yellow. Yellow, and yeah, as you can see, we're not really getting far. Let's try it. Alright, thanks a lot, man. Hey, chill out. The what'd you try to write, dude? Every single time you're on here, it always starts doing that for some reason. So yeah, as you see, we're not finding anything in there. Their search still going. We're gonna let this guy go ahead and do his thing because there is, and we also discovered another open port 55007. Let's go ahead and map that one also. Alright, cool. So I did the most spam. This is oh man. So we see that 55007 is actually running SSH, so that's not running on port 22 in this. That's running there. Alright, and since so whenever I start seeing ports that are higher up, stuff like that, I always like to also do a Rust scan like real quick, just to make sure, just because Rust scan's a lot faster. And then you're like, okay, why are these ports so high? They might have other stuff, just like this 10,000 that we just found, like right here. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of these guys. So file extension at their anonymous login. I don't remember what it was even called. Wasn't it info or something like that? That doesn't make any sense though, because that's only 3 letters long. File extension at their anonymous login. Put an FCP back into it. I don't remember, in all honesty. File extension, file extension.txt. So we know it's a text file. Alright, what's the highest port? Looks like 55007 is the highest port, which is SSH. Okay. Ooh, just saw something over here. We got Joomla over here, which is type of CMS. So that's something to also look at. What is running on port? Enter. Oh, what is the highest port? SSH. Okay. What's running on port 10,000? We don't know yet. Let's go ahead and do an mmap. So we'll exit out here. We'll do an mmap. TAC SB, TAC P, 10,000. Whoops, that's not going to work. That's not an IP address, is it? It's 100% not an IP address. So, but yeah, 10,000, and then the IP address that I want. And we'll try to figure out what the hell's running on port 10,000 there. That still didn't work. What the hell? Give me my IP address there. Okay, maybe it just hates me, like right now. So we'll go ahead, 10.10.183.47. 3.47. And we also see this Joomla over here, so we can also take a look into that. And that's something else that since that's a CMS, kind of like WordPress or anything like that, that's also something that we might want to look at for, this guy's done. That's also something we want to look at for, to do more searches in it. So we do another Python 3. Derby, alright, common.txt to be able to try to brute force more things. Alright, we already forgot that robots.txt went nowhere. And then we have 10.10.183.47, right? Slash Joomla. Alright. So we can go ahead and look at this guy also, see if we can find anything else in there. And it is finding a lot of stuff. We have an archive, database, files. Alright, right now all this stuff is usually pretty normal. Test is not normal that I know of. But yeah, I don't think test is normal. Okay. What's CMS? Joomla. Joomla. Cool. And then the interesting file in the folder. I don't know what folder yet. Administrator, that's pretty normal. But that test one is not normal, especially underscore test. So let's look at that. Let's look at that underscore test. So we're going to look at here. Look at Joomla underscore test. Alright. Now that we're here, we have this new operating system. I'm going to click on different stuff. Linux, select host. Alright, we can do stuff like this. Now, here's a SAR2 HTML. Okay, here's SAR2 ASCII.tar. Alright, and then collecting SAR data. Let's go ahead and take that SAR2 HTML and see if there's anything we can do with that. Let's use a search exploit. Try to stick in here. And we also have miniserve. So that could be something else. Another attack vector like right there. let's go ahead and look at this SAR2 HTML first. Then we'll also look at that miniserve, see if we can do something with that. Probably stop this guy over here. Actually, I'm going to search for miniserve like right now. Search exploit mini. Alright, okay, what about mini serve? Nothing. Let's try that mini serve 1930. We can also try that. Mini serve 1930 vulnerability. Alright, and looks like we have 2019 15.107. Let's try this guy. Let's try something like this first. MSF console. And while that's loading up, let's go ahead and head back and we'll figure out what the hell's going on with this SAR2 HTML. So we'll do another search exploit. SAR2 HTML. And that comes up with stuff also. So now we might have two attack vectors in here. Right? We have a SAR2 HTML. And we also, how do I download more? To download more RAM, what you're going to want to do is go to moreram.com. I actually own the site. No, I was kidding. But yeah, so we have two vectors we may be able to get into. We got that Joomla and we have SAR2 HTML. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this text file like real quick, this SAR2 HTML, and also we're going to grab that CVE from the miniserve because that might be something that we won't want to use too. Both of those. So for 1.9.30, right? We could try to use this guy like right here and see what we can get with him. So let's see if Metasploit has something in there. So we can search for that and it has something. Okay, let's use 0. Show options. Alright, set lhost to ton 0, which is myself, right? We'll go ahead and we'll set the R port to 10,000. Alright, and we'll set our R host to the other IP address, whoever that guy is that we're attacking, right? Set our host to 10.10.183.47. Let's go ahead and run that. And that did not work. Let's try to force it. Set force exploit to true. And we'll run that again. And that is not going through. Let's go ahead and cat this guy like right here. Alright, we'll download him to here. So search exploit attack M. Alright, and we'll go ahead and grab this whole thing. I think we're getting pretty close to getting to this guy. Then we'll go ahead and cat that 47204.txt. And we have here in the web application, you will see an index.php ?plot URL extension. Index PHP 100% do. Okay, it is not lying about that. Alright, and it says just put a command here, semicolon, command here. So we're kind of breaking the command and then telling it something else. So let's go ahead and try this. So semicolon pwd. Let's see what our working directory is. So we can see that just changed, like right over here. Alright, so instead of operating system, it now says pwd. Select host, and sure enough, var www HTML. So it shows us right where we're at within this document, right? With this web file. So that's working pretty good. So let's go ahead and do like an ls attack la. See if we can put a space in there. Does it automatically do it for us? We're good. We are good. Okay. We got a log.txt file in there. That's probably something good. Let's see here. I think that one thing that we wanted was 3 letters, right? Was it miniserve? What's running on port 10,000? Pretty sure it's miniserve. Alright, whatever. Pretty sure it's miniserve. So I just looked it up. Yep, miniserve. Or they tell me like webmin. Let me grab this like real quick just so I can actually answer this stuff. Keep going on. They tell me about that. Okay. Can you exploit service? I mean, yes. It says yay or nay. Okay, nay. I'll say like this. So yes or no. We're talking about yay or nay. Okay. The interesting file in the folder. Alright, so we think we found our way in at least. We got this Joomla. Then we have this log.txt file, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put that as my interesting file because that looks interesting to me. And that is an interesting file, I guess. So we can go ahead and probably stop this attack over here. Okay, let me go ahead and clear this. We can stop the this guy over here. Okay, this Apache does seem to be outdated though. That could be an attack that we could use. Another attack vector like right there. Let's exit out of there, exit out of there. Boom, boom, okay. We'll clear this so my head isn't as in the way, because it is huge. I apologize. And yeah, let's go ahead and keep looking at this boiler. So we found that that log.txt, right? Let's go ahead and try to cat that. So let's do a cat log.txt, and it looked like it automatically changed for us and then changed back. If you didn't see that %20 up there, it's usually for a space. And okay, so we are looking at it now. We did cat it. So we have port 22, which is funny because it's port 55007, I think it was. Except the password for bastard, and the pass was super duper pass. So we might be able to use those credentials and get in. So let's try to use that bastard credentials to get in. So I'm going to go do a nano just so I don't forget his password here. We're going to do a user and pass.txt, and it's bastard, right? And it was super duper pass, right? Enter. Alright, let's go ahead and SSH into it. Attack P was 55007, I believe it was, right? From there, we can do a bastard at the IP address. That's not the IP address that I wanted. This is like right here. And we can probably stop this down here, exit out there. Alright, and the password was the super pass, right? So it was super pass, or super duper, excuse me, pass. Super duper PASS. And that got, okay, cool. So yeah, that let me in. So we do a which Python. And we do have a user with Python. So let's go ahead and cat the full shell. Alright, awesome. So we can see it, yep, we are in that guy. We catted the full shell. We have a backup.sh file sitting here. So let's go ahead and cat that, cat backup.sh. I saw somebody else at the top. We have a user Stoner with a super duper pass no one knows. So is Stoner actually part of this? He is. Alright, so let's go ahead and put him into our file also. So nano user pass.txt. Now we have Stoner, and that is super duper pass no one knows. Alright, and from here what we can do is we can try to like SU into him, so we'll do a move into him, right? So let's try to do an SU for Stoner, super duper pass no one knows. Let's back LA. Alright, cool. CD into Stoner now. Let's take LA. I still have libps on here from before, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that because I got to show you guys how to do that one on here, because that's going to be through SCP. So we do have a .secret. So let's go ahead and cat that .secret. Alright. You made it here. Well done. So that's one of our flags. Alright. Question 2. What was the other user's pass stored? No extension, just the name. Where was the other user's pass stored? What was it? Backup, right? Backup.sh, correct? Yeah, backup. Yep. What did you exploit to get the privileged user? What did I exploit to get the privileged user? Oh, I haven't exploited that yet. I don't know. Alright, so let's go ahead and put libps into here. So let's do a wget, and you're going to notice something real quick. Alright, wget command not found. So how do we get libps over here if the w command is not found? Wget. Well, first off, we could just look at SUID. We could do a sudo tac-l first, you know. We always want to do that one, right? Sudo tac-l, right? And we already know his password, and we have no password, and it says not this time, messing with you. That's not going to work, okay? So let's go ahead and try to cat our SUID lookup, and we do get this, okay? And if you know what you're looking for, then you'll be good. You'll be able to find it. You'll say, huh, that looks different. You know, that's a little bit off. But if you don't, then you're going to want to do some more things. Because there is one thing in here that's kind of like, I haven't really seen that one before. Or that one's different than what I'm used to, what I usually see. But what we can do is SCP. So we can SCP something over. So what we want to do is we actually want to SCP from... Usually I try to do it from the actual directory itself. So I'm going to cd into privilege escalation awesome scripts. And then libps, right? Now from here what I'm going to do a little lstack-la. You see libps did here. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to do a quick SCP. Okay, so I'm going to SCP. And I'm going to fill out this whole thing just so I have everything. Alright. Capital P is for port, right? Because it was 55007. So SCP runs over port 22 just like SSH does. All right, something that you need to realize. Those both run over the same exact port. So since it runs over the same port, we need to now tell it what port we're going to use because we're using port 55007 this time. So we're going to SCP 55007, right? And we are SCPing libps, right? libps.sh. And it's going into Stoner, okay, at his IP address. Forget, you do a quick ifconfig up here. Okay, there we go. This is also a great way with enumeration, ifconfig, to figure out if they have any other, like another NIC. And if they have another NIC, then maybe using a proxy, get in that way. Maybe it's showing you, it's sort of DMZ, some of that. On these guys, you're never going to see that. You might see it on Wreath. That's about it. I don't know. I haven't done all of the Wreath stuff yet. But you're usually not going to ever see that on Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, Vault Hubs, anything like that. On ECPPT, you will see that. That's one of the big things of it is, pivoting throughout a network. Alright, so we went ahead and set it that way, right? Now what we want to do is it's going to go to home, but it's not going to go to Jeremy, obviously. It's going to go home Stoner. So what we did here was SCP'd, which runs over port 22. However, since it runs over SSH, the SSH is actually run on 55007. So we told it, hey, you're going to that port. You're going to send libps over. You're going to log in with Stoner at this. And you're going to set it to home Stoner. Excuse me. Home Stoner as the directory that we want to save it to. What else we need to do from here also is, I'm just going to go ahead and grab it now, is we also need to cd back into desktop try hack me / what's this one called, boiler, and I'm going to grab this user and pass again because we are most likely going to have to provide a password whenever this goes through. So I'm just going to grab this like right now. I'm going to enter, and hopefully everything goes through. I give them the password, and we watch libps start to go through. It goes through. lstack-la. And as you see, libps is now here. Okay, so we did get rid of it at one point. It was already there. We got rid of it. We put it back. So now we can run it just like you regular // libps.sh. They also notice that's already executable. That's the nice thing about SCP. Alright, looks like we can get in through Docker. Through a Docker we can get in. I believe I actually have that. And I say that every time I see it. I'm like, I believe I have that. Let's see. I want to see if there's any other services. So we do have another service right on here, which I actually didn't look at before. So I'll look at it this time. Looks like we have an SQL service on here. MySQL service. That 3306 should be MySQL. That's internal. So I'm going to go ahead and try to look at that. And looks like we got something going on with this. Might be able to look at that. Okay. That's incorrect. There's one that should really point out you though as being like, yeah, that's wrong. You may have seen it already with SUID. You already maybe exit out of this video and moving on. And here it is, like right here. This user been fined. All right. that's the one that's like, that's wrong. Okay. So, and then when we did do that SUID, that was on there. But what I want to try now is I want to look at something. I want to try to MySQL, right? TACU root. And that's just going to be for this guy like right here. Ooh, really? I wonder if we could do MySQL TACU like stoner or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the one that he already has. Let's try MySQL TACU root TACP root. Nope. What about root and then Tor? Nope. Okay. I was just seeing if we were able to get into there. That's all. Okay. So we found that find, right? So let's go ahead and go back over here. We'll go to GTFO bins. We found find and user bin find, right? So go ahead and type in find. We know it's an SUID lookup. Go ahead and grab this whole thing right here from the period over. All right, and we can do our /user bin find. Boom. Enter. ID. It's still gonna say your stoner. Don't get all, oh, I didn't do it. Okay. Your EUID is now root, which means you can now look at root information. Okay. So let's go ahead and cat our full shell again, right? Okay, and we can cd and /root. So I just did this before. Should be able to do that. That's really weird. So they just did this. Okay, that's weird. CD in the root like this, but I couldn't CD the other way. That's really strange. So let's just cat root.text. As soon as I did that Python thing, for some reason, yeah, I'm still root like that. I'm still the same exact permissions, so that was really weird. Just didn't seem to want to take it that time. I'm gonna go ahead and try this again. That's super weird. Wow. So when I'm like this, I'm fine. As soon as I just tell it to make a full shell, it doesn't want to work. That's super weird. Okay. But yeah, so we cat that root.text. We get that. And we are done. So what exploit do we use? We use find, right? And our root.text. There we go. And we get our little whoop whoop. Your answer is correct. And why did I get all my little things? Saying I'm not done yet, so I'm just kind of confused. That's all. I'll just refresh it. How about that? Well, I hope you guys learned something while going through this. I didn't know that find could be used like that. You know, so that was something new that I learned with the find thing. That was pretty cool, I thought. And Joomla, not knowing about the star2 HTML, that was a big one too. Knowing about this exploit now, that's a big one. Especially if I'm going through like web penetration testing like right now for mostly just web application penetration testing. Not really just the network side, but also the web application side. So that was really good to know about that Joomla little exploit like right there, and I like learning that a lot. So thank you for the boiler CTF box. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something and come on back. All right.